Well, here's a couple more stories for basic instructions before leaving Earth. This one is called the Nephilim and the Watcher's Story. Most common one, posted multiple times with slight variosities. Means other people have written stories about it. In a long shadow between Eden's closing gates and the final champion dawn, the dread dragon, instead of bleeding from the king's chains first crack, found new servants. The following ones had been among the first to choose. Once they were stars in the Father's court, bright messengers of the white dragon song, but when Adam fell and his silver red blood became fractured, many of them looked upon the daughters of men with lust. That was not love. Why would the clay alone taste the flesh of the word? They whispered among themselves. We are spirit and fire. Let us take what the red dragon offers. So 200 of them, called watchers in the head and tongues, descended upon the high places of the earth. They cast off their heavenly forms and took the shape of men, beautiful and terrible. The women of that age already carried the fractured from Adam's choice, saw them and was drawn. The fallen angels taught them sorcery, the cutting of roots, the forging of weapons, the secret of the stars turned to war, and they lay with them. But the history carved in stone and later ink never dared record was this. The fruit of those unions was not merely giants, it was abomination. The mother sware not with a child, but was up to that hunger for the first flesh, first spark of life. The bellies grew taunt and vain like the forbidden fruit itself, parched and red. The offspring inside, Nephilim, the half angel giant, did not wait for birth. When their limbs were strong enough to rend, they turned inward, teeth like flint, claws like iron hooks. They tore and devoured their way out through muscle and bone, through the very room that had sheltered them. The mother screamed once, twice, and then was silent forever. Their bodies left as hollow vessels in the field and caves, while the newborn giants rose dripping, already towering, already ravaging. The earth drank that blood and groaned louder than it had since Abel's murder. These Nymphiums was the red dragon's new champion in the open. They ate the flesh of men as easily as they had eaten their mothers. They drank the blood of the innocent and called it wine. They taught the fractured son of Adam to build towers that scrape the heavens and altars that run with the blood of their own children. Cities become slaughterhouse. The silver red blood in humanity ran thinner and redder with each generation, while the white dragon song drowned beneath the war of the giants. The mother and father saw it and grieved. The white dragons weep fire across the sky, yet still the choice remained. Some women, even in those days of horror, choose mercy and fled to the high hills with the few who still listened to the distant song. Some men refused the fallen angels' weapons and kept their hands clean. The chain, through a crack, was not yet shattered. Then came the flood, not mere water, but the white dragon's own breath turned to judgment. The giants drowned with the mother's screams still echoing in their ears. Their bodies sank into the deep, and the water covered the evidence of history would later soften or erase. Only a fractured bloodline survived through Noah, the champion of that age who carried the silver red link unbroken enough to begin again. But seeds remain. The red dragon, ever cunning, let some of the fallen ones survive in chains beneath the earth. Their half-breed children left echoes, tales of giants in the land of Canadian, of Atkim and Repaham that later champions will still have to face. The hunger they planted never fully died. It hid in the blood, waiting for any heart that would choose the red over the white. Even after final champion rose and broke the red dragon's spine upon the tree, the old corporation, the old corporation, corporation lingered in the soil of the wood. Some still hear the whispers, the watcher's whispers in dreams. Some still feel the ancient hunger still when power of flesh called louder than mercy. The story of the mother torn from within is not written in the open scrolls of the Bible. Second story, the hybrid veil, a speculation tale of creation, Cain, and the mark. This is for basic instructions before leaving Earth. In the ancient cosmos, before time bent to Earth will, the Islam God and his Cheshire race traveled the stars as being of light and flesh. They was not bound by one word, seeking to seed life across the void. They descended upon the primitive earth. Here roamed the caveman, rugged, primitive being shaped by eons of struggle. The DNA forged in blood and survival. The Elohim saw potential. Let us blend our essence with theirs, they declare. Creation and evolution were not rivals, but one divine experiment. From the union came Adam, the first hybrid, stronger, conscious, breathing with the stars, breath of stars. From his side, Eve. They walk in a garden paradise, marked by the knowledge of both heaven and earth, by the fruit of the tree waking the idol within, self. Pride stirred. We are gods now, they whispered, expelled from the garden. Their children inherit the due blood. Cain, firstborn of the hybrid line, tilled the soil with inherited alien ingenuity. Abel clung to the pure offering of faith. When God favored Abel's sacrifice, Cain's bloodlust awakened. The primal echo of his caveman ancestry, he slew his brother, and a taste of blood awakened something deeper. Banished yet protected by the glowing mark upon his forehead, a sign of divine mercy and warning. The mark shielded him from vengeance. Cain wandered into the wild lands beyond Eden. There the unblended primitive tribes still roam. Cave women with raw strength, untempered DNA, drawn by the metallic taint of blood in the pull of dominance. Cain took them as wives. His strongest hybrid seed mingled with the primal lines. The blood called to blood. He taught his sons from these unions a new vigor spread. The hybrid DNA proved dominant, weaving central intelligence with earthly resilience. But not all accepted the blend. War erupted between the two races. The pure caveman climbed who rejected the star blood, and the Cain's growing hybrid tribes who carry the mark and the pride of self. Battle raged across valleys and caves. Spears met with weapons of cunning design. The hybrids, fueled by ego and control, claimed superiority. We are the chosen evolution, they roared. The war scarred the earth, yet in the end, survival demand union. The races combined, the stronger DNA, Cain's mingled line rose dominant. Humanity, as we know it, was born a fusion of alien dividend, primal earth, and the self-worship. Cities rose from the bloodshot groan. Canaan descendants built towers to the heavens. Truths that seen the system of trade. The mark evolved with them, not merely protection, but a brand of alliance. For head for thought, hand for deed, worship self. You toward the blend, idolize the ego that made you strong. Millenniums passed, the old war faded into myth, yet the spirit remained. In the final age, the ancient pattern returned. A new beast arose, echoing the old hybrid throne. An image spoke with AI tongues, promising perfect DNA, new neural marks, and internal self-rule. Receive the mark, it declared, and buy, share, and reign as gods. rejected and be cast out like the old caveman. Deirdre's biometric bindings and pride parades celebrated the idol itself. Humanity, now 40 blended, stood at the choice, claimed to the chosen who seated the stars, or fully embraced the beast of ego and control. But whispers of the Lamb pursued it. A remnant refused to mark. They remember the true blood, not of primate or alien, but the redeemed blood poured out on a hill. The hybrid story was never the end. It was a veil over the deeper truth that even in our mixed veins, the call remains. Repeat of self-worship and return to the one who bears life into dust. The mark you bear is the one you chose. Okay, now this story is number 3. This is the bloody fruit, fall of Adam and Eve story. In the crater of Eden, where rivers sing and leaves whispered secrets, Adam and Eve wandered beneath the sky woven with starlight. Their hands brushed the velvet petals of flowers. Their feet kissed the dew of untouched meadows. The garden was a sympathy of innocence, a world without hunger or shadow. At its heart stood a tree, its branches heavy with fruit that pulsed like living hearts. Red as dawn, slick with the scene that seemed to bleed. Do not touch, the voice has warned. Its timber woven into the wind. Its knowledge is not yours. Adam and Eve, pure as the morning, nodded and turned away, content with the endless bounty of Eden. But the serpent was old, older than the rivers. Its scales gleaming with the memory of forgotten stars. It slithered to Eve, its voice a low hum, like the pulse of the forbidden fruit. Taste it, it said, and see what lies beyond innocence. Eve hesitated, her eyes tracing the fruit crimson curves. It was beautiful, heavy with promise, its surface gleaming as if it reeked blood. She reached, her fingers trembling, and plucked a single fruit. It was warm, throbbing faintly in her palm. Adam watched, his breath caught as he bit. The juice ran red, staining her lips, her chin, her hands, a taste of iron and fire and life and death entwined. She offered it to Adam, and he too tasted the forbidden. The words shuddered, the eyes once soft as a fawn's sharpened. The garden colors grew velvet, jagged. They saw the veins in the leaves, the rot beneath the surface, the soil. The hunger in the eyes of the beast, innocent, fled like a startled deer. Their hearts pounded, ravaged, no longer sated by berries or peace. They craved meat, the parts of light, torn raw from bone. Dude, you gotta get yourself in the camera, huh? Go on. They hunted, their hands no longer gentle, their mouths stained with more than fruit. The garden reeked, its rivers clouded, its flowers wilted. Adam and Eve, once children of light, became beasts of want. The shadows long and jagged. The voice returned, heavy with shower. You have chosen, it said, now leave. Exiled, they walked into the wood, thorns and dust, the taste of blood still on their tongues. Behind them, the tree stood silent, its fruit still bleeding, waiting for the next to fall. Well, those are the stories. If you like them, just hit the thumbs up and let me know. Thank you.